So be ready to raise that revenue. And do it however. There's no right way to raise revenue. Go out there and raise it. Work-life balance is a big deal for me. I try to share that with our staff. I think that God has called me to be a father and a husband, number one, and then to work and be an effective member and help people, number two. But if I'm not being the father and husband God's called me to be, then I'm not doing a good job in my house. And I'll much rather, at the end of the day, be worried about my house than how my job worked out. And you can take that however you want to take it, but that's how I'm living my life. And that's been a challenge already for me because there's a lot more demands on my time. I've coached every soccer team my kids have played on up to this point. This year it didn't happen. I'm dying on the sidelines. I just want to yell at it all the time. But I grew up with a dad that coached every team I ever played on. It was awesome. I'll never forget those memories. I want to be able to give my family the same thing. So you have to find that work-life balance. And what does that mean? Does it mean you're up at 5:30 or 6 answering some email or doing some stuff? Maybe. But I don't like to try to send a bunch of emails at 6 in the morning because then my staff feels like they have to respond at 7 in the morning. And what's that doing to their work-life balance? Right? So it goes much broader than just you. So if you're sending a bunch of emails at 8:30 at night, if I got one and I was working for Matt, I'd be like, well, I better respond to it if I saw it. So now I've asked them to give up some of theirs. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's important. It's so important. So important. And then the last one I'll leave you with is that I am typically the least educated person in every room I go into professionally. Okay, I've got an undergraduate degree. That's it. I have a bachelor's, didn't get my master's, have no PhD or EDD plans, none of that stuff. And again, that goes back to a pride and confidence issue. I don't think it really impacts how I do my job, but there are very few times I'm in a professional setting where I'm not the least formally educated person in the room. And I don't think that impacts a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people would know if I didn't tell them or they didn't read my resume. But for me personally, as I'm communicating in a boardroom with 12 presidents who have terminal degrees and all these subjects that I can't even comprehend, it's still in the back of my mind. But that's one of those things I've got to overcome. And there's a couple ways to do it. Either you go get more education, right? Which runs into work-life balance. Anyway, you go get more education, or you overcome it, right? And if you're working in athletics, you're in business, overcoming stuff. So right now, that's what I've decided to do. Make sure you're well-read. If you're not reading, you're not learning, you're not reading blogs, you're not following people on Twitter that can make you know more about what you want to do, you're missing an opportunity. There's so many free resources out there. Take advantage of them. Okay? Take advantage of them. I'm not one of them. You won't get a ton of great insight off mine. Mine's going to be a lot of promotional stuff and pictures of my kids, but still might be worth something. Those are the challenges. Just to be transparent with you, that's what I worry about when I go into meetings and stuff. Is that going to haunt me somehow? Is that going to bother me? But preparation, confidence, well-read, make a big difference. Okay. And those are my challenges. Anybody, I know we got about 5 or 10 minutes, and thankful that you all asked me a bunch of questions, so I was able to fill the time. I'm worried about that. So, anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
What is your average day? What does it entail?
Okay, average day. I get up around 6 o'clock, take a quick peek at email, respond to some things if I need to. Take my daughter to school, drop her off. I'm in the office typically by about 7:45. And then I'm there working in the office, variety of things. Really, I'm a map out your day kind of person. I like to have a sheet of paper and an open box and a task, an open box and a task. But that's not a reality. We get a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails that require immediate attention, things like that. So it's putting out fires. It's a big portion of the day. I try to make sure I'm out of there by about 5:30 every day. And then that's family time after that, to the best ability I can. Obviously, I'm on call. I take a lot of phone calls, answer messages, things like that outside that time. But that's kind of what the typical work day looks like. Today's a little different. I left Birmingham, I guess, about 7 o'clock Central. And I'm going to drive to Rome after this and be home late. And then tomorrow I'm going to work from home, whatever that entails. Thanks for asking. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment has been?
That's a good question. I'm really, really proud since we've been at the Gulf South, it's been just trying to make us a little bit more organized and systematic about the way we do things. I think I've made some progress in that already, hopefully. While I was at the A-Sun, the Atlantic Sun launched an ESPN3 initiative that I headed up that put television quality equipment in every gym. So every one of their basketball games and volleyball games are live on ESPN3, run by Student Productions. So we found the money, trained and installed, and got everybody all the equipment. So all 8 A-Sun schools will have all their basketball home games on ESPN3, and that was an A-Sun driven initiative that did that. So that's one of my real proud professional accomplishments. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What about like a starter job, like at the main site of the road?
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
What if like a starter job, like where would you start on that?
You know, you're going to start in at an assistant director of championships, assistant director of compliance, or an internship, something like that. Typically is how you'll work your way into those. And graduate assistantships are great opportunities if you have the inclination to continue your education. Graduate assistantships are terrific. Some are better than others, but they pay your school, give you some money. The experiences that they give you at most places is pretty good. Anybody else? All right, well, I'll tell you, I love sports. Sports has always been a big part of my life. I'm a terrible athlete, but I love to play things. And I'll always be thankful for sports because I met my wife at an NCAA Division I first-round basketball game. And that's probably you asking about professional moments I'm proud of. Ran into my wife and convincing her to go out with me after that basketball game. It's probably one of my top personal moments all the time. So you never know when you're going to run into them, but I'm thankful for everything sports has delivered to me, and so thankful for the opportunity, great questions. I'll stick around up here if anybody's got anything else. If not, don't worry about it. Thank you so much.
Thank Commissioner Wilson for taking time out of his schedule to come and talk to us about his career and sharing his words of wisdom with you all, making it into collegiate athletics. He said he's going to stick around if you all want to take him up on that to ask additional questions. He'll be around for a little bit. But on behalf of the program, and behalf of the College of Education and our department chair, Frank Butts, who has handle a crisis, because you know all about that.
Crisis, yes.
But we just wanted to present you a little token of appreciation from University of West Georgia. There's some trinkets in here to put on your desk, just to show you that we appreciate you making us one of your stops. I know you have a really busy schedule, and we just want to thank you for taking the time to do that. He didn't pass me off to a receptionist. I didn't get, the run around. He answered my email directly. That means a lot to me. To get people to come here to share their experiences with you and to hear directly from him via email was, it really meant the world. And I hope you all appreciated what he had to share with you all today. Thank you for your attention.